Bless up, my people. We'll join you again for another presentation, As we say, when we enter the fold, we come to give information. So recently, the Prime Minister made a presentation where he speaks about the plans, the plans for the money that was donated to Jamaica post Hurricane Melissa. Now there has been whole heap of generated outrage. And I say generated because they are being pushed by persons with different agendas, Not person with genuine concern, but just person with different agendas. So persons with preconceived notions, as to what is going to happen or what has happened or what they think is going to happen. So he recently addressed the issue, and we're going to go through some of it. We are going to dissect a part of it. We are live right now on YouTube. We are live on TikTok and other platforms to follow suit, right? So we are going to dissect the Prime Minister's speech. We are going to listen to it, and we are going to see. Yesterday, I was actually listening to a fellow blogger for the other side, if I might add, who was playing the exact speech. But there's probably a saying in life where say people do things for different reasons. Now, while I would play it here to try to make people get the message that the PM was sending out, up until now, I can't tell you why he was playing it, but it wasn't for the same reason. So we're going to play it over YouTube here. So YouTube, go.
That were donated were not immediately exhausted, that somehow this was irresponsible. I start there because I received a note from a concerned citizen, an elderly lady from this constituency, who said, Prime Minister, you have to address this issue because I can't explain it to the people in my community why the government got $1.4 billion and never spent it. Is the hottest thing on the ground in terms of criticism of the government. It is, on the face of it, a common sense criticism. If you get $1.4 billion and 100,000 Jamaicans have been assessed as in need, spend it. I reflected on what I would say, because these days there's nothing that you say that is not critiqued unjustly, unfairly, unreasonably, and oftentimes misrepresented. Fake news and alternative facts. If not sometimes just downright lies to mislead. But that can't deter the response, because my job is to explain to the people, engage the people. And again, I've repeated this thing, the battle for the mind, right? Because there are those who are out there just simply trying to get falsehood into your mind. I want to give you some facts as we discuss the issue as a family. The government of Jamaica is projected to spend 67 billion Jamaican dollars on the hurricane relief and recovery. $67 billion. A large part of that would be the loan that we gave to the JPS so that you could have got back electricity faster than ever before in the history of restoration after any disaster in Jamaica. That was a strategic decision. It was highly criticized. Why is the government lending money to JPS? But the recovery was quick. Water and electricity came back very quickly. Very strategic. We thought about it. We thought deeply about it. We looked at the ramifications, and we took some good decisions. We have deployed out of that $67 billion, $10 billion for the roofs program, and close to 50,000 Jamaicans have been getting support through that program. Through the NHT, almost $2 billion has been spent, and that is not included in the $67 billion. We are spending on the repair of schools. And as you go across Jamaica, you see several schools being repaired, repair of hospitals and clinics, that is being repaired. The restoration of road connectivities, that is being done. And the removal of debris. That was a massive expenditure. We have never had to deal with that level of debris before in the history of Jamaica. When you look at Independence Park here and what it was and the market, government doesn't get credit for that because it's our job. That's what we must do. But we have to tackle this view that government isn't doing anything or that nothing has been done. And that is patently untrue. We can point to everything that we have done. But if you don't listen with discernment, you may fall into the trap of believing nothing was done. In all of that has happened, there has been no break in the national security of the country. Country is moving on, resilient, we're back up and we're going. This is not to say there isn't, there are problems obviously, but we're back up. I will say this to you. Jamaica got more foreign aid under Hurricane Gilbert than it got under Hurricane Melissa. It's a different time. Jamaica has to stand up on its own 2 feet and do its own thing. From our budget, $67 billion. Do you know how much we got in donations, cash donations? How much was it? $1.4 billion. How much, what percentage is that of 67 billion? Almost $70 billion. It's about 2% thereabout. Want you to put things in context. You also have to consider that we assessed close to 100,000 persons as being in need. And we're giving the maximum grant of $500,000. If we had given the $1.4 billion in grants, how many Jamaicans would get 500,000? How much was it? About 2,500. So let me again put some more context to the conversation, and then you will begin to see that the common sense may not be so sensible after all. We got $400 million in building materials that we got from the private sector here, and I commend those who contributed to the building materials. I commend as well the government of Guyana, who contributed significantly to that. I want you to walk with me. Do you know how many roofs we have put on so far? The JDF is here. 500 roofs have been restored. You know how much it is to restore a roof? To put on a room and a half or 2 rooms, which is about what we do? It's just about $1 million or more. And we still projected to have some more roofs to put on. And that does not include the labor. And that is why we asked the JDF and we asked for international support. And at this point, I think I should say that it is the first time that Jamaica has received assistance directly from our African brothers and sisters who have come here, sent their troops here to assist in a tangible way. And we requested it. We asked for it when I went to the G20 and for the relationships that I have cultivated on the continent. We had the Rwandans come and we had Ghana come, and they helped us significantly. And I want to here publicly say thank you to them. And of course, thank you to the Guyanese Defense Force, who helped us to restore roofs. And thanks to our own Jamaica Defense Force, who did an amazing job in restoring roofs. All of those materials, $400 million worth of materials, they had to be trucked from where they were, either imported or in warehouses in Kingston. They had to be trucked here, and what else had to happen to them? The officers here from the JDF, they had to be stored. They had to be managed. They had to be secured. In other words, there's an entire logistics operation. So what you hear is roofs constructed, but you don't see all that goes in to have all those trucks move the materials here, to have them stored and secured. Now, the Auditor General report said, well, there was an administrative failure in the management of the material, meaning that when the materials are brought into store, they should be signed by both the JDF and ODPEM. And that is a fact. It didn't say the materials were stolen, but there was an administrative accounting failure. And why did that failure occur? As you are listening to it, all you are hearing is that they thieved the material. But why did that occur? Well, for a simple reason. The JDF operates 24 hours, ODPEM operates 9 to 5, but the truckers are carrying in the material when? They're not carrying in the day when there's traffic and congestion. They're trying to get here using the least congested time. So by the time they reach here, ODPEM people are gone home. It's only JDF here to sign.
As you are listening to it,
but you see how it is positioned in your minds. So I want you to think again. In December or late November, I addressed in a press conference this whole business of how we will treat with donated funds. And I said then that donated funds will be used to purchase building materials. It will be used to purchase things that are tangible, traceable, and for which it's easy to account. Impactful. That was the decision. I want you to bear that in mind. That was in a press release from JIS. You can go and see it. It was said. Press release was on the 1st of December, 2025.
And I said then,
now,
donated funds.
I tell you a little bit about myself. I went to the University of the West Indies, and whilst I was there as a student, they used to keep a big party there. The Students' Union, the Guild would put it on. Spectrum. People from my era would know.
I want you to bear that in mind.
And
a press release,
almost every year,
go and see it.
There would be some challenge with the accounting for Spectrum.
1st of December.
And whilst I was there as a student, they used to keep building materials. It will be used to building materials. And whilst I was there as a student, they used to keep a big party there. The Students' Union, the Guild would put it on. Spectrum. People from my era would know.
There would be some challenge
and
accounting for
almost every year. There would be some challenge with the accounting for Spectrum. My university friends know this joke, as this is nothing to do with the University of the West Indies. They would try to account for the gate receipt versus the profit. And they would say, why is it that the number of tickets sold was so much? But yet
I was a patron. I attended.
And they would say, well,
Spectrum.
Spend it on ice. So where's the ice? Why it melts. And that is why we are not spending the money on anything that anybody can say, boy, it melt.
We're not spending it on things that you cannot properly trace.
We're not spending it on things that you cannot properly trace. When we fix a roof,
trigger over TikTok.
You can go and measure it.
Guys, if you're not following me on YouTube, please to come on YouTube and find and give us a follow.
Today, go to the bathroom afterwards, and then you come back and say you never get anything. The roof is there. You see the context now? Remember what was the criticism on the ground? The criticism was that we are going to thief the money. Remember that? They spread that all around, including in international circles. So a man think it. The people who were making those criticisms, they were in power once, and that is what they did. So they think. Well, what happened now? The Auditor General come out and say, well, the money is there, but they didn't spend it fast enough. You see the context now? The money was stolen. The money is there.
Common sense to it. Yes, it's common sense.
And for those who are going to apply common sense to it, yes, it's common sense, but think deeply. In the immediate aftermath of the hurricane, tons of immediate humanitarian relief came in.
tarpaulins,
food
all kinds of
items, generators,
problem.
tarpaulins, all kind of things came in.
What was the problem?
What was the real problem? The problem wasn't the
Just
things. What was the
process
problem?
to
The
identify
problem was the logistics and the process to identify people to make sure that is the needy that get it and not the greedy. Can you imagine? We took up, so you have
$1.4 billion
what you need,
buy more things.
and then you go and take the $1.4 billion that is given and go and buy more things.
Process. You think the
You
trucks
think you would get it any faster going through that process? You think the trucks that we would have to put it on would get there ahead of the trucks that we took from the wharf with the goods to carry here?
think,
Think on these things.
Think.
and therefore we're not going to clog up the system.
And therefore, we're not going to clog up the system.
That the funds will be
We made
used
strategic decisions
in phase.
that the funds will be used not in the relief phase. We're in the relief phase. You already have items that you don't want to keep them in warehouses. They're going to spoil. You get them out fast.
phase. What we tried to do was to match donated.
So in the relief phase, what we tried to do was to match donated items with needs. Move them as quickly as possible.
Donated funds. We want to be
But
able to
particularly for the donated funds,
Jamaica
we want to be able to say to those people who have contributed,
this is the
Jamaica
material.
has put on whatever it is, 1,000 roofs.
Something that you can see.
This is the material. This is what you have spent on. That's something that you can see, tangible,
So when this audit
accountable,
came out,
traceable.
decision, but the performance
So
audit
when this audit came out, we had already taken that decision, but the performance audit, the real-time audit, didn't take the policy directive that was given into account. It just made a statement which you all took.
inefficient. The government was being very strategic and very
The
efficient.
government wasn't being inefficient. The government was being very strategic and very efficient.
And the administration, you would have had it.
And that is a difference between my administration and the administration you would have had if the people who are criticizing were government.
Precisely because you were a
The
generation
country
of
ended up in deep problems precisely because you were a generation of Jamaicans who thought they were the intellectuals who led us down a pathway of misgovernment and mismanagement.
because no one took the time to explain.
And people followed because no one took the time to explain the bad decisions.
As I said, that everything that is common sense.
As I said, not everything that is common sense makes sense.
I
Don't make
urge
sense.
you to think carefully on these things.
I
Very
urge you
carefully.
to think
My friend
carefully
who reached out to me
on these things. Very, very careful. So I hope my friend who reached out to me in
understand
great concern,
that it was the best decision.
listening,
Now, what will
would
the funds
understand
be used for? We
that
have
it was the
no
best decision. Now, what will the funds be used for?
donated materials.
We have
You're
no
donated materials now.
almost completed the donated materials. You're probably out of donated materials now in the warehouse. Almost complete.
That is
And
we're
now
going to
we're going to restock you.
with building materials. We
That
have
is,
the
we're going to
funds
restock
so
the
that
JDF and ODPEM
go on to
with
do
building
another
materials. We have the
500
funds, can do it now so that you can go on to do another
Yes.
500 roofs. Yes.
But more than that, we're going to use some of that funds now.
But more than that,
It's something that I know.
we're going to use some of that funds now
The government
to deal with
promised
something that I know you want to hear about.
bring in
The government promised that we will
500
bring in, we made a promise for about 2,500
prefabricated
modular, semi-permanent, prefabricated housing solutions through the NHD.
Those took time to manufacture
Those
and to clear.
took time to manufacture and to
We-
ship
It
and to
took,
clear.
I would say about 3 to 4 months
It took,
from the time we
I would say,
procured
about 3 to 4 months
to here. The government
from
of
the time
China
we
has given
procured
us,
and placed the order to here.
the Ministry of
The
Housing
government
has
of China has given us some.
Red Cross that is giving us
The
some.
Ministry of Housing has purchased
We
some.
get up to
And I
about
believe it's the
3,000.
Red Cross that is giving us some as well. So
Modular
we may get up to about 3,000 units,
And we are
these
building
modular units.
a small
And we are building
hold on. facilitate those
a
persons
small community in Westmoreland
being housed at the
to
Petersfield.
facilitate those persons who
So we
were being
have the
housed at the
units here now.
Petersfield shelter.
Again, I want you to think with me, Jamaica.
So we have the units here now.
My government,
But again, I want you to think with me, Jamaica.
units and come and plop them down.
My government is not just going to take the units
wouldn't
and
help.
come and plop them down
We're going to do that.
anywhere.
Whatever
That wouldn't
you
help.
put down,
We're not going to do that.
be on a proper
Whatever units we put down,
them down.
they must be on a
Anything that is
proper
not
base.
firm and flat.
Because if you put them down
Warp,
on anything that is not firm and flat, they will warp,
we're going to have to build a proper base,
defects, and all of that.
concrete base.
So we're going to have to build a proper base for them. A concrete base.
When they give it to you and leave this up,
What about sewage?
make some arrangement.
You think we're just going to give it to you and leave this up?
We might have to
We have to
give
make
water
some
tank
arrangement for the disposal of
or
sewage.
beside it.
We might have to give you a little water tank on top of it too,
Yes.
or beside it.
Put all of that together.
You don't think so?
Looking at an
Yes.
a median
And so to
cost,
put
looking at
all
an
of that
average
together,
cost of
we're
500.
looking at a median cost, meaning an average cost of about 500,000.
Once it's-
Depending on where it is, it could be less, it could be more. Now,
If it
I want you
is
to stop and think again.
and we're going to give one here and
If it is
one
not
over
a community
so
we're building and we're going to give one here and
How they
one
going-
over so and
These huge
one
containers.
way up so and one in the next part, how are they going to get there?
on specific
These huge containers.
vehicles, and they have to be lifted
They have to be
by-
transported on specific kind of vehicle and they have to be lifted by
It has to
crane.
be planned out.
So it's not something that you can just do overnight.
The
It has to be
funding
planned out.
that is donated will
So
be used to support
Funding
the establishment
that
of
is
the base.
donated
Because
will
the
be
people are going
used
to
to
get them,
support
can
the
they
establishment
build
of the
themselves?
bases. Because the people who are going to get them, can they build the base themselves?
Money that it is there.
So isn't that the best use of the money?
Years, other
That
than
it is
just
there
and then you
to
don't know
last
where-
them for 10, 15 years. Rather than to just go spend it out and then you don't know where it went. Or
Think, Jamaica, think.
what benefit it gave.
Don't be misled by
Think, Jamaica, think.
political power.
Don't be misled by people who are just seeking political power.
Think. No,
Think.
we are going to
No.
begin that shortly. We have 900 units in the island. And
We are
have
going to begin
gone-
that shortly. We have 900 units in the island.
Their houses,
And we have gone through, we have found the people who
and they don't have the income to
their
rebuild.
houses were totally destroyed. They don't have anywhere to live and they don't have the income to rebuild. We're going to rebuild that. So sometimes,
Right, the people see that was the PM doing his best to break down the topic of the day, which is slow spending of money, fast spending of money, or whatever fake outrage is next. The present fake outrage is that Westmoreland still don't have. Somebody over TikTok said Westmoreland still don't have electricity. Delo, there are persons in Westmoreland that don't have electricity, sir. It's not Westmoreland don't have. Persons in Westmoreland don't have. Okay? When you come here and say Westmoreland don't have electricity, you are a liar. You tell a lie there, so. Persons in Westmoreland don't have. Yes, and that is why the JPS tell you that they are what? 98% restored. They never say 100%, which mean that there are some people without. The question you ask now, Delo, if you want to be effective, is why those people still don't have. Is it that something is preventing them from getting it? Is it that JPS don't want to give them? That's why you ask. Listen, may I get too old enough to deal with low IQ reasoning? Somehow no just don't make sense. You can't just come and say Westmoreland don't have when everybody knows that is a lie. That is a proven fact that Westmoreland have. Hotels and business in Westmoreland are operated. Hotels down there open. My son lives in Westmoreland. Are you accusing him of stealing light? Anyone I'm a moderator there, please, me no like do this, but black Delo for me. Delo now make sense. When did I accuse somebody of thieving light? HR black Delo for me, please. Not me. All right. Instead no me matter. Nobody black him. Nobody black him HR. Nobody black him. Yo. But Delo, unblock him HR. The question is, people, is why is it? Why? And unblock him HR. Right? But let me leave Delo for a while. So the PM there now, like the PM line out the plans for the spending of the funds that were donated. Now, when people donate funds for any reason, whether they give it to you, them donate it to a country, they donate it to a cause, people like to see where their money go. They look at antidote that the Prime Minister gave about, Spectrum and people who said the money spent on ice, but the ice melt out. Saying you can't do that with people donations. Now, what we did now is that the PMC, we've been through the disaster. There was the world, the entire world came to our aid and they made some donation. When people think about Jamaica, they want to be able to say, we donated some funds and it built our community down there, so it put on back them people the roof. People want to see what them donation does. People not just want, yes, boy, we did spend it, we buy some food. No, that's not what you do with donations. Right? So people want to see what them donation do. People want things where them can point to. And that is why the PM told us that the funds will be spent on something that is tangible, that is traceable, and that is accountable. So we're not going to spend it on water. We're not going to spend it on ice. We're not going to spend it on food. We're not going to spend it so we are getting bus here. No. We are going to use that funds to assist in building a little community. And we can even call it donation bill. if the PM want a name for it, we can call it donation bill. Right? So when time people think of what happened in Jamaica, then can say, well, at least we see which part the money go. Right? But you have people now who don't want that. And you know why they don't want that? It's so they can walk and speak and just say anything them feel like. No, them don't want tangible, traceable, accountable spending of the money. Them want willy-nilly spending so them can complain. Right? That is what them want. Now, bartender, bless up yourself over YouTube. Them want willy-nilly spending, as the Prime Minister said. They were in charge once. We had disaster. People came and donate. What did they do with the funds at that time? Do you have anything where you can point to? The little bit of aid that we got after Hurricane Ivan, do you have anything that you can point to right now in Jamaica that says that's what was done with the donation after Hurricane Ivan? No. No. I am not accusing anybody of doing anything untoward with the funds. I'm just simply saying you have nothing that you can point to. And in this day and age, the politics that we have in Jamaica today, you have to have things that you can point to say that is it. Right? So the plan to spend the money building that little community where people can get out of a shelter and live into is one of the best we've heard in a while. And that is what is going to be manifested. That plan never come up with last week. The PM speak on it from way back in December. You can track back. Now, I started out by telling you that yesterday I was listening to a PMP blogger. He was playing this very recording. And when it got to the point where the Prime Minister gave the example of what used to happen to the Spectrum Fund, as a little antidote to move into it, there was a lot of people. There was a gentleman on there that was up in arm. Oh my God, the Prime Minister just told us that he went to college to tell us that the money buy ice. And I asked the question, is that what you got from everything what the PM said? There was another young girl there, an extremely dunce one, extremely dunce, who claims say, me can't tell them if it take out of a story because people tell story and people take things from it. And that is why I say no, we have to be careful of where we consume our information. All of us sitting there on the same platform listening to the very same broadcast, but we were listening to it for different reasons. Very same broadcast, the very same prime minister, the very same words, but we were listening for different reasons. Okay? The host, who is somebody who sometimes pretends to be, what the word I can use for it? Pretend to be somebody with sense. When you take up the position of a platform host, you're here to inform people. You're not here for you if you want to be for your own amusement. Go watch a comedy show. But when you take up a platform to discuss national issues, you are here to either enlighten somebody or to put them further into the darkness. I choose at all times to attempt to enlighten. At all times. I set a goal that every time I turn on this, because remember I know my internet no free. Anytime I turn on my internet and give up of my time, at the end of it, somebody must learn something. See, now right now I'm on two network. I'm on YouTube over here, TikTok over here. Somebody has to learn something. That is my goal. So when I do it for enlighten. I can't speak for other people. I can't speak for any PMP bloggers why them do it. But we were watching the very same broadcast, but we were watching it for different reasons. While I was there to learn and to understand what the PM was saying and to see if I can help to probably explain a few things, they were there to find a word that they could jump on. To say, see them say this, him say this. And if that's how you watch these things, you will never learn and you will never be able to pass on said information. Right? And for that is one of the reasons why I find my way over YouTube. Because if there's a place that is filled with misinformation, it is YouTube. The liars over here are them not normal. The one them over TikTok, them not normal. Right? But again, as I say, whenever I turn on this thing, I do it to inform. I do it to educate. And that's how we'll continue with it. Right? So a couple of weeks ago, there was the cry, January gone and the Prime Minister said container homes in 4 months. January gone, I will not see them yet. Well, as the Prime Minister said, we have to think. Now, you have companies that manufactures container home. But guess what, people? They don't build them and put them down in a one storeyard where you can just go order 5,000 or 2,000 and get them. No. That's not how these things operate. You don't build them and put them down. These things are done to order. So about November or so, or probably early December, Jamaica would have placed its order for about 2,000 of them. They now have 2,000 put on in a one storeyard or them will just take up and ship. When we order 2,000, they have to be manufactured and then ship to Jamaica. Shipping takes time. A ship is probably between 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know how long is construction. I don't know how long is construction, but shipping will take about 4 to 6 weeks, right? I don't know how long is construction, right? So let's say the construction of 2,000 of them takes probably 3 months. Yeah, let's give it. I don't know, but this is a guess. Construction takes 3 months to build them. Moving them to the ship and then shipping them and all of them something there. Give that another 2 weeks. And then the shipping will take at least 6 weeks. That there is 5 months that are ready, 5 months that are ready. So when people who lack the ability to think for themselves and then take up the position to try to think for others, that is how we get misinformation and lies. Simple put, that's how we end up with misinformation and lies. And that's why I urge people, no matter where you're there, be careful where you get your news. It's not everybody will turn on a platform and come here, have your best interests at heart. Some of them just want a little bit of taps and them want a little bit of roses. And that's all them come for. I think I have it where Desmond McKenzie also speak on the delay. Where is Desi? Let me see if I can find Desi. Desmond McKenzie speak on the delay in building this. Philippians, my dear, good morning. Philippians, you find me over YouTube yet? Desmond McKenzie also speak on this issue of the delay in the container house. And some things come to light about it, where, we realize that even elected officials in Jamaica and the other side who sits in the parliament, who represent people, choose to sabotage the government. And by sabotaging the government, they don't, let me not say they don't realize, they fully well realize. But by sabotaging the government, they are also sabotaging the people that elected them. But the sad fact is we have an opposition right now that really don't care about the people that elects them. That is the sad fact. They don't care. So if fighting and holding down the people is what them deem is best for them politically, that is simple what is going to happen. That is simple what's going to happen. And that's what they have been doing.
Don't listen to the mischief makers.
No, this is not the critical.
They will want to tell you otherwise. They will want to tell you that a thief will thief the money. No, we can't thief the money.
Right. But let me break it. Right. But when we try to speak on any system we want to speak, and any system we are giving opinion on. Sorry for not hear while the fandangles on the background. Any system we are give we opinion on, we first have to learn how the system works. If we don't know how the system works, then we cannot have honest discussion on the system. If we don't know how it works, we will not know when it fails, we won't know when it succeeds. And that is simply what we have with a whole heap of people that comment on government. They don't know how government works, so they don't know when it succeeds and they don't know when it fails. So what they do end up with is preconceived notions. Yes, that's how them end up with preconceived notions. Why me think I saw it for work and I know so it work, so guess what? Something wrong with it, you know. Them a rob with government, a rob with parliament. Listen, I am one of the first to admit that we've been through a time in Jamaica when we had corruption in politics up to here. Way up to here, we had corruption in politics. First to admit that. I am also the first to admit that our politicians today are not saint. They are not saint. But I will also be the first to tell you that right now, in the governing People's National Party, led by Andrew Michael Wallace, we have probably the best crop of politicians we've seen in probably about a generation in Jamaica. Best crop. Am I saying that the JLP party in government is perfect? By no means, no. I'm simply saying that if you assess honestly from a position of information, not from feelings, but from a position of information, if you learn how systems are supposed to work and then assess how they are working now under this government, you will see. I was recently, yes, him address them, Ray-Ban. I need to find that clip also, you know, but I will deal with it probably later. I saw a report this morning that says 95% or about 75% of the funds allocated for the Solidarity Program went back to the consolidated funds. Now, there is two ways we want to assess that. The funds went back to the consolidated funds. Now, that money was earmarked to be given out to citizens. Given money, free money where government can give people so people can put themselves together. Return, guess why? Because nobody no go apply for it. Everybody sit down every day and tell you say government now do not now see the government advertise a project, send it out, but this now is a failure of the agencies, and this is so much so why we need an agency like NARA to bypass all them stupidness, right? 75%. Let me see if I can get the correct. Let me say me have something with the correct figure here. Where I have it somewhere here. Government pockets, and again, here is how Gleaner frame it. This is important, you know. Government pockets 70% of $1 billion allocated. Now, who allocate the money? Not the government. Then how if it's a government pocket it? Oh, no, that's why I say people, we have to be careful with part we confuse the news from, you know. The wording of this headline is crafted to deceive. Government pockets 70% of $1 billion allocated to poor under Solidarity Program. Somebody on TikTok said the portal never worked. I think the MPs didn't do. That is right. Most of the MPs, they didn't do enough to get the people and sign up. And people did not take the initiative to find out how things work. That is why the ministry that is run by Audrey Marks is so important in Jamaica's development going forward. Very important. Because when you have things like this program, it is not left up to MPs to sign you up for it. It shouldn't be left up to MPs. It's a government program and it should be available on a government portal so citizens can just log on, use them smartphone, the same phone where they come on TikTok and chat nonsense with, and get the information. That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work. But we're getting there. We're not moving like Speedy Gonzales, but we're getting there. MP Marks, one of the gems discovered by Andrew Holness, will get us there. MP Marks will get us there. Ambassador Sanders, sorry, not Sanders, Anthony Anderson, the former ambassador, has been named chairman of NARA. Now, here's the problem with the PMP when that announcement was made. Them can't find nothing bad about Anthony Anderson. You know. Them don't have nothing bad. I am sure them might dig today. Today they might dig out backside. They might check if any time him ever jive past Andrew Holness houses. Excellent choice. Well, excellent choice. They might check if him ever jive past it, right? They might check. But them don't find nothing yet. So what are they questioning? Did he apply for the job? Shooting Mali, did he apply for the job? That is what they are questioning now. Did he apply? Was it them want them to ask for transcript of his interview? Now, I would think that Anthony Anderson would be a welcome. That man is a worker. He look at the transformation that he did to the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Remember, the transformation started under him, you know. He went in, he transformed it. He transformed the military. He is an engineer by trade. But yet they are still trying to find something. That by wildlife, I don't know, you know. You see, it is about generating some controversy. Even when there is none, them are geared at one day for whole until them find something. So make a question whether I'm apply first. I mean, the thing is so stupid. The notion is so stupid. Did he apply? Yes, him apply and him get the job. And I want him to hit the ground running. I want him to hit the ground running. So listen to me now, people, Jamaicans living in the diaspora. The information you'll get over here at the truck stop is different. Over here, we are going to tell you, so listen to me now. You see Anthony Anderson and the NARA and the nearly $2 trillion worth of spend. Any ideas you don't have for put something on the ground in a Jamaica, now is the time. Now is the time. Mali, you are so correct. Mali over TikTok says, soon we won't be able to attract anyone to work for the gov because of the attack. Thank you. Thank you. That is it, Mali. Pretty soon. When the so-called non-disclosure clause was put in the IC operation, it was for that very reason. Because we were beginning to lose prospective people because people was afraid that their reputation will be destroyed by somebody just saying something and it gone. Our former contractor general had the habit of, once he starts an investigation, he runs to the press. Runs to the press and sally people name. Pretty soon. And listen to me. PMP have no moral authority to question the appointment of Anthony Anderson. Because if they want to speak on Anthony Anderson, I will give them a man that they had in the administration in the 90s. His code name was God. Code name God. Given name was Vincent Lawrence. Vin. That man sat on more board than a carpenter. No, I don't think this is gonna be like Dennis Strong appointment. You know. No, I don't want. It's not. That's what they want it to be. No, wildlife, the PMP did not vote for NARA. Every single member of the PMP voted against it. Every single one of them. Right? Every single one of them voted against it. Right? But if they want to talk about the appointment of Anthony Anderson, they had a man named Vin Lawrence that sat on more board than a carpenter. That chair more board. But he had no equal. His code name was God. That's what Moti Perkins called him, the God of Jamaica, the man who sits and presides over almost every single government board they had. Don't hold me to this number. I think he chaired probably 19 out of 21 government boards at the time. You see, wildlife, PMP believe that they can run country from the opposition bench. They believe that they can run the country from the opposition bench. And that is the posture that they take. We are in charge, we're big, we have a say. We have 28 now instead of 14. Well, the thing is, you have the same amount of power now with 28 than you did. When you had 14, your power not change, you're still an opposition party. But for some reason, Mark Golden believes that he is a co-prime minister. Accept that he lost the 2025 general election yet, He believes that he's a co-prime minister. Now, I don't know of Jamaica having coalition governments. We know coalition government happen in places like England and them places. We don't know of Jamaica having it. Even in a coalition government, there's no such thing as a co-prime minister. No such thing, it doesn't exist. But this man believes that he's entitled to Jamaica, and Jamaica is his. His birthright is in his inheritance. And also for it go. Governing party, opposition party. First past the post is how our election run. The first to 32 seats win, simply put. And then when you win, you take up all of the marble, including the man will get 31, for him marbles belong to you. Because even when he get 31, him still lose. Because a 32 win. That's how it operates. But they operate under the premise that they can run the country from the opposition bench. And because of that now, they would have created some so-called civic group. They would have created some so-called civic group under the guise of being public commentators, but they only speak on things that concern the Jamaica Labour Party. 28 of them come out over there, and that is their job. And they try to use them to bully the government. I am happy now the government is in a position, or has taken the position, that we will not be bullied. We will not be bullied. Right? So NARA is now in place. NARA is in place. And Anthony Anderson will take up his position come Monday. Monday is the first? Yes, come Monday. And we're going to now hold NARA to the deliverables that they were promised. That is now our job. We will now hold them to what they promise. Wife style. Oh, yeah, all right, sir. All right. Yeah, come here. That's a wildlife. All right. My apologies. I got it. Got it, sir. I got it. Sorry. I got it. But me that's a wildlife. Right? But we are now looking forward to NARA. First order of business. housing. First order of business is to get out some of these people from under the style. Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I saw it now. We see it now, honestly, we see it now. I'd accept my right. So now they have moved, they have removed the attack from Nara and has now put in their ire on what they call now the tabling of report. Because guess what? PMP always have to have something where them are complain about, Right? So as I said, let me close off that section by saying now, come the 1st of January, the new Jamaican begins. And we look forward to Anthony Anderson taking his position, bringing in his team, and hitting the ground running. We leave that there. Now, the attack on Nara are the so-called AG report and the slow spending is not getting the traction that they think it should get. So Mark Golding now seems to be upset about the tabling of some reports. Now, I've always think that history is what we use to judge, right? Anything that the PMP is complaining on, we can find it in their history. Now, on 2 occasions that I know of, the Contractor General in the past and the Integrity Commission right now has done reports that were the subject of lawsuits. And because they were the subject of lawsuits, they weren't tabled in the parliament. Simply put, that's how it operates. Because they were the subject of lawsuit, they weren't tabled in the parliament. We have had, that is it. It was done in a case involving Ian Hales and his wife, where they took the Contractor General to court, and because of that, it could not be tabled. I think it was done with Peter Bunting also when he took the Integrity Commission to court, and because of that, it was not tabled. Simply put, this report is the subject of a court proceedings. And the parliament is simply saying, let us see what the court say. But Mark Golding is threatening to take the parliament to court to override the court. Somebody tell me if it's not a madman, this. The thing is the subject of a court proceedings, and you want to take the parliament to the court to override the court. How does that make sense? Then you go write angry letter to the parliament threatening the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate because you are Mark Golding and you are high and mighty and you must have your way. I will play for you the President of the Senate response. He read the letter.
But to
my apologies,
deal with it.
YouTubers, TikTokers, TikTokers, let me find that place.
And the question is, essentially,
I don't want me TikTokers feel
whether there is any other report from the Integrity Commission which has been sent to this Parliament but has not been tabled. Indeed, there is such a report which was received from the Integrity Commission on the 30th of March, 2026, concerning the conduct of the Firearm License Authority. Over the last several days, there has been wide and varied comment within the chamber of the lower house and in the public domain concerning the non-tabling by the Parliament of the said report which I referred to from the Integrity Commission of Jamaica. Much of the discussion has been criticism directed at the Speaker of the House who has been unfairly accused of attempting to thwart and stifle our democracy and its institutions by her failure to table the report. She has been incorrectly accused of breaching provisions of the Integrity Commission Act 2017. It is not my intention to delve into the details of the legislation. However, it is to be noted that the legislation, that is to say the Integrity Commission Act, does not impose an obligation on the presiding officers to table reports received within any specific time or indeed at all, but rather states that the Commission is to submit reports to the Parliament for tabling. The decision to table or not, and when to table, rests with the presiding officers of the Parliament. I wish to make it clear, I wish to make it abundantly clear that the decision not to table this specific report was not taken by the Speaker of the House, the Honorable Juliet Holness, in isolation. That decision was taken by the presiding officers. That is to say, myself as President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House, in consultation with the clerk and the legal officers of the Parliament. Persons who are well aware of this, however, have sought to ascribe the decision as not to table the report solely to the Speaker of the House, in yet another attempt to besmirch her authority and tarnish her reputation. I am not surprised by these attacks, however, as there is a long history of attacking strong women in leadership in this country by many sections of our society. In arriving at our position, that is to say, not to table the report from the FLA at this time, we consider the decision in the Hales matter, which made it clear that proceedings in the Parliament are within the sole purview of the presiding officers of the Parliament, not the Speaker or the President, the presiding officers of the Parliament. The decision cited as the Supreme Court of Judicature of Jamaica, claim number 2017 HCV 00744, between Ian Hales, applicant, and Charlotte Alexander Hales, respondent, the Contractor General, interested parties, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, first interested party, and Senator Tom Tavares Finson, second interested party. And the judgment, which runs over just about 40 pages, says, and I want to just quote paragraph 60 at page 33, the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate would have been acted inter vires by tabling the report submitted to it by the OCG. Their action would be categorized as Parliament conducting their internal affairs, and as such, their actions, listen to this, their actions would be immune from the jurisdiction of the court. I find that the Speaker of the House and President of the Senate were improperly joined to the application for leave to the interested parties. The bottom line, and for those who wish a simple explanation of all of this, is that the internal proceedings of the Parliament are directed and conducted not by the Speaker, not by the President, but by the presiding officers, both the President and the Speaker, both of whom took the decision in this matter after consultation with the relevant authorities of the Parliament. There is currently a matter before the court seeking non-disclosure of the report and the view was taken that those proceedings should move ahead until it became clear where the court was heading in this matter. And we determined that the document ought not to be tabled until the issue in the court was further ventilated. Let me point out that this approach is nothing new, as it is a process that was followed in the Ian Hales matter, and which was supported by the then leader of the opposition, Mr. Peter Phillips. In fact, the approach that we have now adopted has received the approval of the most senior constitutional lawyer in this country, Dr. Lloyd Barnett, who says, if there is an application for non-disclosure in the courts, then you wouldn't frustrate the court's proceeding by tabling the legislation, by tabling the report. We have to have respect for the judicial system. In fairness, let me just read the precise words. If there is an application for non-disclosure, then you wouldn't frustrate the court's proceedings. We have to respect the judicial system. In closing, late last evening, I received a letter in my capacity as President of the Senate, addressed to myself and the Speaker of the House, both presiding officers, and addressed to the clerk from the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Mark Golding. In that letter, Mr. Golding said, and I must say, I had no intention of reading this letter, except to say that this morning, the correspondence appears in the Gleaner, on the Gleaner website.
Go to the Gleaner.
So several hours after it was sent to us, it is in the newspaper. Dear Madam Speaker and President, I'm sending you a memorandum of today's date, prepared by the Honorable B. St. Michael Hilton, KC, on the captioned matter. Please see attached. The captioned matter being subject, failure to table the Integrity Commission investigative report on the Firearm Licensing Authority sent to the Parliament on March 30, 2026. Now, so he says that he's sending this report to us, a memorandum prepared by learned King's Counsel, Mr. Michael Hilton. And then he says, having now shared with you the benefit of this clarification of the legal position of eminent senior counsel, I trust that the Integrity Commission's investigative report of the FLA will be tabled at the next sitting of the House of Representatives and Senate, respectively. If not,
if not,
I am putting the capital on it. If not, I intend to instruct legal counsel to file proceedings as advised in the memorandum. Well, no doubt the memorandum has already been released to the public. I consider this an unprecedented threat to the administration of Parliament and the conduct which I believe is beneath the dignity of the office of the Leader of the Opposition. Without saying too much, listen, without saying too much, I would just indicate that the presiding officers, the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, and myself as President of the Senate will not bow to any intimidation or threat. But will administer the affairs of the Parliament in accordance with established protocols, the standing orders, and the Constitution of Jamaica, which is the supreme law of the land.
So there, that was the man basically sending a letter threatening the Speaker of the House, threatening the president of the Senate that if I don't get my way, I am going to do this. Yes, you're right, wife style. Dictatorship. If I don't get my way, if you don't do what me say. If you don't do what me say. Because guess what? Some people voted for you in the last election. Well, you never win, Marky G. You never win. You are not the prime minister. You are not the leader of a co-equal branch of government. No. In fact, as the opposition leader, there was no office for you to sit in that position up until, and I believe again, this is something that Bruce Golding, this is another thing where Bruce Golding do, which I totally, let me not be hypocritical. When he just do it, I was all for it. But now I realize it's a mistake Bruce Golding make when he waste money and give opposition leader office. An opposition leader has no official capacity to operate in this. Therefore, we should not be funding an office for them to sit in and do nothing. If the opposition leader wants an office, he can get one at his party's headquarters. That's where he should sit. That's where he should sit. This is something where Bruce Golding do where I no longer support it. I withdraw. Not that it was ever needed, but I withdraw my support for that move. I withdraw the support for that move. It's never necessary. Bruce was decent. Just like Andrew is decent in announcing something that I've always champion this as a labor right. This is something I always say. That the Western Children's Hospital should be named after Portia Simpson. All the people labor right now agree with me. But that's something I feel. Me just feel if it happen. Regardless of my thinking about her politically, she remains the first female prime minister of this country. Hello, KK. That's an achievement that is something that we should always recognize. Still the first female prime minister we had. Right? So regardless of our political thinking, our political belief, she deserves to be honored. I mean, nobody who hold that office is perfect. Right? Nobody who hold the office is perfect. But me support it. Just name a thing after her. She did went to China. She did negotiate and the facility was donated to her and her administration. Guarantee that they sit on the money where them get until inflation near more site and they couldn't really build the facility when in the end. But it was still, and naming it after her is something. But this idea, the office of the opposition leader, no. We take that from Bruce Golding. Bruce Golding erred in that one. That's why now we have a man who has nothing to do, who have nothing to do on a daily basis, but sit down and generate things to attack the government, and the government is funding the office that it is done from. So I believe we need to fix that, take away the budget, make funding from the party headquarters if that's what they want. That's just me. That's just me. Because Mark Golding is a national disgrace. This is not because of his politics. It's just because of who he is. Yeah, man, Bruce make an error there, so surely for observe TikTok. Bruce make an error there, so we're wasting money funding that office that have no official capacity. Mark never miss an opportunity to divide. I agree with you so much, Wisely. I agree with you. And that is the problem we face with him. He's not leadership material. He's a divider. He is a divider. Our politics has simply gone down into the gutter since Mark Golding has ascended to the leadership of the People's National Party. Me challenge any comrade to prove to me that our politics has not taken a turn for the worse since then. This is not the Peter Phillips opposition. This is not the Portia Simpson Miller opposition. And luckily, we never know what the Pattison opposition look like. Pattison remains the only prime minister that has never held the position as opposition leader. So we never have that. This is not what the Michael Manley opposition look like either. This is a different opposition. This is an oppose and divide. Threaten. If one thing is not working, you move to the next. What are these reports that Mark Golding is threatening that much? It's not, it has nothing to do with politics in it. These are just some people who used to work there. And they say, listen to me, we have information that we don't want you to really, let us see. What is the urgency? What is the urgency in just wait until the court makes its ruling? But no, you have to have a contention going. If you don't have a contention going, you cannot survive. So you turn everything into one. Yesterday, day before yesterday, and Nationwide, there was an interview with the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, Mr. Errol Green. And there was he was referring to a headline story in the Gleaner that speaks of uncooperativeness between the ministry and the IC. But I don't know how many of you listen to the report. I can't play now. I might have to play it for you tomorrow. Well, Mr. Green simply explained that the Integrity Commission made requests for some documents. He then responded that the ruling is today or tomorrow. No one exactly why. It simply makes some requests, and they said we cannot hand over these files to you. It will be breach of data protection guidelines. So here's what we can do for you. In order to facilitate your investigation, come to the office. We will set up something for you to view the files here under supervision. Somebody will watch you view the people's file, but we cannot give them to you to take out. That will be wrong. That is the response that you get from the PS. We cannot hand over the people's document to you, but you can come here and view them. Cut budget. I am actually monitoring two platforms right now. So I don't know if I can continue a conversation with you on the platform over there. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna accept it. Cut budget. I broadcast both on TikTok and YouTube. Yeah. Right. So all he said was, we can hand it over to you. But when you look at the framing of the report and the Gleaner, it gives you that impression that somebody is asking for something and the other person is saying no, when nothing is further from the truth. It is simply put, we cannot hand over people personal documents to you. Come here, we will allow you to look at it. But guess what? The high and mighty Integrity Commission, and as Mr. Green called them, imposing their Gestapo tactics. Some of you who listen to me, you know, young, so you don't know what is the Gestapo. The Gestapo is the German police force that them use to impose them will during World War II. So they now want to use the bully tactics to frighten everybody into doing what they want. Mr. Green said, no, simply put, if you want to view the documents, come here. I do not see the difficulty in doing that. If it is important to your investigation, then simply go and view them. If it is important, just go and view them. It's not taking anything off you. You don't have the resources. You guys are funded to the tune of nearly $2 billion annually. You can farm a little research team, set a date. No, okay, if I work at night, so I have days off. I work nights, my job is nights, okay, so I work night. Thanks for checking in on me, though. I appreciate it. Put a team together, go to the office, view, collect the data, the information where you want, and leave. It's not that difficult. But when you don't get your ways, you run to the corrupt media where you have, and them know to frame headlines to pretend that there is trouble when there is none. They know to frame the headlines to give you the effect where you want. But guess what? People wise too know. You know no effect by nobody. People realize they're not liar. I hope you not attend the yard sale at the Gleaner next weekend coming up, Yes. The PMP, I think they are still having a yard sale to earn back some money to pay back the PMP, the money where they lend them to fund election, I think that's the purpose of the yard sale. They are trying to earn back the money that was loaned to them. I may have said that here. May I say that? That's how me call it. Right. But these things, everything must go HR. We have simple things that we can solve. Okay? These things doesn't have to be the big headline that they are. If you're conducting an investigation, you request a document, the people say, I can't give you, but you can come and view it. Then simply go and view it. But the idea is to tie up everything in controversy. Everything in controversy. And then this now is tied into them trying to paint the Speaker of the House in a bad light and to give grounds and justification for the undue attack on the position of Speaker. Thank you, Wildstyle. Let me read it. Kevin Stevens could show up at the building when he thought the PM was breaching something. So thank you. Remember, and I thank you for this, Wildstyle. 24 hours after getting a tip that there was possibly a breach in building code by the Prime Minister, Kevin Stevens was down by the KSAC viewing documents when they thought the PM was at fault. So why is it now it's different that you cannot go now to the Ministry of Health and view documents? This is what we mean when we talk about corrupt act. This is what we mean when we say people are bringing them office into disrepute. I know government, at them I do it. At them simply carry out these things that put undue pressure, undue attention on a simple act. Undue attention on a very, very simple act. But with the here, and we will always be here to try to put context to whatever is out there. That is our response. That is the responsibility of myself and my fellow bloggers has taken up. And we always be here to put things in context. The link between everything where the PMP do and them people on social media. Because O'Keefe don't find me over YouTube yet. That's why I'm not reach over here. Right. Now, Them tell us the birds of a feather flock together. Last night, TikTok was very, very festive with comrade against comrade, arguing over stolen donation money. Now, if comrades aligned to the People's National Party, just them bloggers, you know, are unable to collect a simple donation for a man that sits up 24 hours a day sometime on his phone, always cussing government in support of the PNP. I know he needs emergency eye surgery, and they have started a collection to assist him. And now there is an argument that that money has gone missing. Them tell us birds of a feather flock together. The donation money, just like the donation money that was donated to the PNP for Melissa repair, recovery, that no one can account for. The Sydney eye surgery money has now gone missing. And I mean say it, you know, the saga of the missing fund, Bridget, yes. So last night there was live after live after live of finger pointing, who get money, who thief the money. The only thing we're sure about after all the discussion is that the money is missing and Sydney soon blind. The money is missing and Sydney soon blind. Now, why can you imagine? Can you imagine one side if the PNP did ever win in September and then we have Melissa? That 1.4 billion would be gone. Gone. As we say, by the deeds you will know them. The Prime Minister said, as so a man thinketh, so is he. And them I tell you, say the money I go get thief in while it is there, you know. The loudest people are them. Now poor Sydney need the money we collect for doing my surgery. And it cannot be accounted for. Who are the main players in this missing money saga? Me hear Vice of the Nation name. Me hear Alvaro name. Me hear Excellence name. All of these people name I call. I don't know the full story in the cause. Guess what? Me not get the recording them yet to listen. But all me know, Sydney, a warrior for the PNP. Lie, you know. Kasha name I call, yes. Lie out hell, you know. Lie out hell. But in there, every night as the sun set, as the cock crow man in Sydney is up. Well, this is strange. Excellent. I send me a request over TikTok. Sorry, may I accept that one. Yeah. Sorry, YouTube, you won't be able to hear the exchange with Excellent, but me hear. Good afternoon, Mr. Excellence.
It would do you well to avoid misrepresenting people and avoid trying to slander my name.
I slander your name? Tell me in what way did I slander your name? Tell me how did I slander your name?
You and I are not the same.
YouTube, hold on, don't move it. YouTube, me I go sign off over YouTube. Me I go cuss off Excellence over here. So just YouTube, thank you, no. We will join